Story 1. My husband's ex-girlfriend is expiring. Her last wish is to be with my husband. As the title goes, my, 30 female, husband's ex-girlfriend, 33 female, was recently diagnosed with late-stage breast cancer, and her last wish is to be with my husband, 35 male. My husband, let's call him Seb, and his ex, Tanya, became best friends after their breakup a couple of years ago due to her infidelity. They were together for 5 years. Needless to say, they remained in contact even before he met me. I would be lying if I say it never made me feel uncomfortable even once. It did, and still does, because Tanya is still in love with my husband. She never denied it, and in fact, would even call or message me when she can't get a hold of Seb. Aside from cancer, she also has some mental health issues. Thus, my husband would always tell me to be kind and patient. Seb is no longer in love with her, of course. She cheated, and Seb swore that he will never get back to her and that he only sees her as family. 2 weeks ago, my husband received a call from Tanya to tell him about the sad news. My husband cried with her and told her everything is going to be okay. They were on the phone the whole day. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that Seb and I moved to Australia a few months ago because of my job, and Tanya's in Canada. They mostly talk via long-distance calls or WhatsApp. They've been in contact almost every day since we left, which always bothers me, but what can I do? After that call, my husband told me everything. To be honest, I felt bad for her, and I genuinely felt sad. I asked him what's going to happen now. Seb told me he's going back to Canada, which is a shock. He then told me that her last wish is to be with him. I didn't say anything except, "What about me?" He said if I can't leave my job, then he's going to visit me whenever he gets the chance. I walked out without saying anything. I've been avoiding my husband since the phone call and have been ignoring him whenever he tries to bring up the conversation. Yesterday, I found out he already bought a ticket and is flying back home in January. I feel like he's abandoning me, but at the same time, I feel that I'm selfish for hating both of them. I'm honestly thinking of getting a divorce because obviously he's choosing her over me, but at the same time, I thought of why my husband is so attached to her. Seb considered Tanya and her family like his own, and he doesn't have one. She's probably like a sister to him now, but Tanya doesn't feel the same. She's madly in love with my husband, and him granting her wish will surely make her think they still have a chance. My entire life, I've been putting others first. I've been very patient and understanding about their weird relationship. I feel sick, confused. I want to call her, yell at her for ruining my marriage, for trying to steal my husband from me, for using her sickness to get what she wants, for being a shrew. I'm so mad at both of them. What did I do to deserve this? I don't think you did anything to deserve this. I mean, when he tries to bring up the conversation, I can understand that you would want to have some distance from him, but at some point you're going to have to confront him. It sounds like it is going to end up in divorce or something. It's really outlandish that this was her last decision, and he so willingly put her over you, the wife. I just really hope that you can get this resolved between you two. I'll be sorry if it ends in divorce, but it seems like that's what it's going to be, because he's just really ditching you and just putting you on second tier. It's awful. Story 2. Company says I tip too high when I travel, so I order more expensive food to tip high. When going over my expense report, my company saw I tipped 20% for lunch one afternoon. Lunch was $15. The tip was $3. They told me that's too much because I wouldn't do that with my money. Heck yeah, I do. I just took the better part of an hour of my server's time. The least I could do is leave $3. It's $3 for crying out loud. But rules are rules. However, my company is fairly generous, allowing me $75 a day to spend on food. Which I never do, and that's about to change. For lunch today, instead of my usual salad or sandwich, I went for the lobster grilled cheese. And of course, upgrade my regular fries to the duck fat fries. Enjoy saving that 5% for the rest of my travel meal expenses. Heck, exactly. You want to do well? You want to spend with your money? You want to spend the money how you will? If that's what it takes to be able to support other people, I'm glad you're able to do it. Why are they giving you guff over $3? And once they go over these expense reports, how do you think they'll respond to this? I really hope they take a good long look at that.
Please like and subscribe if you made it this far. I hope you'll enjoy the rest of the video and have a wonderful day.
Story 3. Angry mother confused about strong alcohol beverage, annoyed that drinking age laws apply to her son. In the UK, the legal alcohol drinking age is 18. Yes, there are nuances that I'm obviously aware of, but these don't apply in this instance. I work in an extremely busy pub that sells drinks in takeaway cups to drink outside, an especially popular option in the summer when this story happened. I am a female, late 20s. Entitled mother and kid come in at the busy bar. I clocked them when they walked in. The kid looked around 15 years old. At the point where she is ordering her drinks to take away, the kid is outside. She orders a pint of scrumpy, strong, still traditional cider, and a Coke without saying a word, dispassionately prodding the signage with her manicured finger without even registering my existence. I repeat her order back to her, pour her drinks and tell her how much. She ignores my offered hand and drops a note in a pile of coins on the bar, barely within awkward reach. I politely asked her if she wouldn't mind putting the coins in my hand. She ignores me and says, "Keep the change," and walks out. After she leaves, I awkwardly pretzel myself round many ale pumps to fumblingly pick up the coins from the bar, count them out, finish the transaction in the till, and pop the extra 5p in the tips jar. Then go on to serve the next customer. A few minutes later, I'm aware of her beckoning me from over at the no service end of the bar, holding the pint of scrumpy. I make eye contact and give her a nod, then turn to finish serving the customer I've just poured a drink for. The entitled mother from across the room. "Excuse me." Me. "Hang on a minute, please. I'm just serving this man." Entitled mother. "Excuse me." I've finished serving the man. "Is everything okay?" Her thrusting the pint into my hands. "This cider is completely flat." Me. Sorry for the confusion, but it's a traditional scrumpy, and it's meant to be flat." Her interrupting patronizingly. "I know what cider is supposed to be like. This is flat. I want you to pour another one in a fresh glass, and put some life in this one." Me. "Can I suggest you might want to try a different cider? We have a hard cider on keg that might be more of what you're expecting." Entitled mother. "I ordered what I wanted. What I was expecting was that you might know how to pour a pint. Do you want to try again, or shall I ask him to pour it for me?" She points at my male colleague. Me. "Excuse me?" Her. "My son barely had a sip of that, and he won't even drink it." Me. Shocked now. "You gave that to your kid?" EM, sputtering a little. "Yeah, well, he's over 18. Me. "Is he?" I had seen him. He certainly didn't look a day over 15. Entitled mother must have noticed at this point that she was on to a loser, because the next thing you know, she's gesturing towards the pint of scrumpy still in my hands. Her. "Oh, just give it back. I don't have time for this." Me. "I'm sorry, but I can't do that." Entitled mother. "I paid for that." I get the money, plus her 5p tip, from the till and extend it towards her. She won't take it. Entitled mother. "I want the drink I paid for." Me. If you can come in with your son and a valid photo ID proving he is of legal, her bit of spit flying, he is my son and he doesn't need an ID. I'm with him. I'm his mother. Me. Sorry, but it's the law. Please take your money. I don't want an argument. Entitled mother. Fine. It's for me. I place the cider on the back bar out of her reach, close my eyes, and take a deep breath. 3, 2, entitled mother. I want to speak to your manager. Yep, there it is. I haven't even opened my mouth to tell her that I am the manager before she is striding over to my male colleague who has clearly been rubbernecking while serving customers and cannot wait to get involved. Entitled mother, I need to complain about your employee. She has no customer service skills and clearly doesn't know how to pour a pint. My coworker can barely keep a straight face. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'll make sure she's fired immediately. Entitled mother, now you'll pour a decent pint, won't you? Coworker, nah, my pints are smeg. Entitled mother, shocked. What? Coworker, not gonna do it. 8% Scrumpy is the best gateway alcohol for kids, by the way. Just saying. Entitled mother sputters and storms out, muttering something about leaving a bad review online. I turn to coworker and say his name, reprimanding. Me. Coworker, you should not have said that. Coworker. Sorry. Couldn't help it. Me. You shouldn't have said your pints are smeg. You pour a lovely pint. Man, I wish I should really start developing an English accent to be able to tell some of these stories better, because I think with the English accent, that little bit of sarcasm just really hits just that much better. But yeah, great way to handle it. And my goodness, I'm kind of glad I don't have the temptation of alcohol that good, that supposedly that's that tasty, that's that potent. Story 4. Today I fracked up by giggling when someone asked me why their debit card kept declining. For context, I'm a bank teller at one of the biggest banks in the U.S. This is also by far the highest paying job I've ever had, as I've only just graduated high school. This dude who looked to be on the older side came in, and he wanted to know why his debit card kept declining. So I pulled up his account history, and there were literally pages upon pages of online purchases. The gag? Every single one of the purchases was OF. I guess that he subscribed to many, many pages. And the craziest part was that they were over the last few days directly after he got paid. So he got a bunch of money, then blew it all on OF subscriptions. When I saw the account history, I pretended to cough because I had the biggest urge to laugh, but I managed to hold it in. I asked him if he had online banking or if he had managed to look at his account history recently, and he said no. I offered to print it out for him, and he said, yes, please. When I handed the printouts to him, he just said, ah. And I came so close to laughing again, but I managed to hold it in and be professional. Then I asked if he made those purchases, and he dejectedly said, yes. And I giggled. I couldn't help it. He gave me this weird look and left. Afterwards, I had to excuse myself to the bathroom and laughed it all out of my system. I guess he called in to complain because after I came from my lunch break, my manager called me into his office, and now we've scheduled a call for HR tomorrow. I'm probably pretty fracked. I know you have to giggle, but unless you have his card, if you have to giggle, I don't know if you don't know this person's situation. It's probably going to be funny to a lot of people. You don't know his situation. It might be funny to some people, but yeah, you really needed to just excuse yourself unless you had his card. Just really step away. I mean, this is very sensitive stuff. Yeah, it's going to be funny if it's out in the open, but it's still someone else's life. I understand the humor of it, but yeah, Excuse yourself. Get it out of your system before you come back. Say you have to check something out in the back. Story 5. Am I the a-hole for breaking up with my girlfriend after she rejected my proposal twice? Sierra and I have been dating for 4 years. I absolutely love her and felt like she was my soulmate. I knew I wanted to propose 2 years into dating, but decided to wait 1 more year so that I could get in a better situation financially. Last year, I proposed. It was a private proposal on the beach where we went on our first date. She looked at me and said, "I want to marry you, but not right now." She said she wasn't in the right space personally to get engaged and to give her some time. That stung, but I was okay with it. After all, I put off proposing so I can be in a good position. It's only fair I give her the chance. It's been a year since then, and I decided to propose again. This time, I asked our friends to help me set it up because I wanted to do something nicer. We orchestrated a nice dinner and a proposal in front of a nice fountain in the city's botanical garden. Everything was ready. Dinner was great, and we went to the fountain. She saw the roses and everything, and then I got down on one knee and asked her to marry me. She teared up and told me, "Not just yet." This stung really bad. I knew I wanted her in my life forever, but this is the second time she turned me down. I asked her why, and she told me the same thing as last year. I asked her if someone was holding her back, maybe family or friend, and she just said, "I just want to make sure that this will work." This hurt me more than the 2 rejections. I told her if after 4 years she isn't sure, then what the hell will make her sure? She asked me to give her time, and I told her no. I told her that I'm not going to keep wasting my time and love if she's going to keep saying no. I told her that I can't do this anymore. She began begging me not to leave and said, "Fine, I'll marry you, just please don't go." That made me mad, but I didn't say anything. I left. My phone has been blowing up with some of our friends, her parents, and her telling me that I'm an a-hole for throwing away a 4-year relationship because she said no and that I was being a big baby, she just needs some time. The other half of our friends aren't on my side, but they're not on hers either. I don't think I'm an a-hole for this. Did I overreact? Am I an a-hole? If so, how much more time am I supposed to give her? You've done it twice. You tried to ask. Maybe give it a conversation where you two can really discuss the future of your relationship and where you are. She doesn't seem to be forthcoming with everything. You've been together for 4 years. You should be able to share a lot of personal stuff. After 4 years, if she can't articulate why she needs more time, I'm kind of with this person on this side. Why spend the time wasting on this person if you're not going towards the same goals? It doesn't sound like you're aligned, or at least not yet, and she's being very nebulous on this. If you can't get this deeply into discussion about your relationship, I don't think you're an a-hole for breaking up. Not really.
Please leave your story in the comments. I would love to make a video on them in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.